Welcome to the story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and support me. The Martian colony was a marvel of human ingenuity and interstellar cooperation. It was a place where the red dust of Mars mingled with the green and blue hues of alien life forms, where the cold, thin atmosphere was warmed by the glow of shared knowledge and culture. The colony was home to a wide variety of species, all coexisting in a delicate balance that had taken years to achieve. Yet, even in this melting pot of intergalactic cultures, no one could have predicted the frenzy that would erupt over something as seemingly mundane as old Earth entertainment. Dr. Linda Carter, a cultural anthropologist from Earth, had been stationed on Mars for several years. Her work focused on the impact of Earth culture on the alien residents of the colony. When she first arrived, she expected to study how Earth's scientific advancements were influencing alien technology or how Earth's governance systems were being adapted by other species. What she didn't expect was the arrival of a shipment of ancient Earth media, a collection of television shows, movies, and music from the 20th and 21st centuries, that would turn the colony upside down. It all started when a cargo ship from Earth delivered its usual supply of goods, along with a seemingly innocuous crate labeled Earth Cultural Artifacts. Inside were old DVDs, CDs, and even a few VHS tapes, relics from a bygone era that had been preserved and sent as a gift to the colony. The crate was meant to be a nostalgic gesture, something to remind the human colonists of their roots. But it wasn't the humans who first discovered its contents. It was the aliens. The first to dive into the crate were the Cranians, a race of highly inquisitive beings known for their relentless pursuit of knowledge. With their 4 eyes, they quickly absorbed the content of the DVDs and tapes, their fascination growing with each episode of old Earth television they consumed. Soon, word spread across the colony, and other species joined in, eager to experience this exotic Earth culture. Linda first became aware of the craze when she noticed an unusual commotion near the colony's central square. As she approached, she saw a group of Cranians huddled around a portable holographic projector, their attention focused on a flickering image. Curious, she pushed her way through the crowd to see what had captivated them so completely. On the screen was a grainy episode of a 1980s dance show, complete with neon lights, leg warmers, and synthesizer music. The Cranians were entranced, their heads bobbing in time with the beat, their long fingers tapping against their knees. Linda watched in amazement as the aliens attempted to mimic the dance moves, their spindly limbs flailing in a chaotic approximation of the human dancers on screen. "This is incredible," one of the Cranians exclaimed in their high-pitched voice, barely audible over the music. "The humans use this as a form of combat training. Look at their precision, their coordination. We must study this technique and incorporate it into our own drills." Linda blinked, unsure if she had heard correctly. "Combat training," she repeated, stepping closer to the projector. "This isn't combat training, it's a dance show." The Cranian turned to her, their 4 eyes blinking in unison. "Dance? You mean this is not a martial art?" "No," Linda replied, stifling a laugh. "It's a form of entertainment, a way for humans to express themselves through movement and music. It's not meant for combat." The Cranian tilted their head, considering her words. "But the movements are so precise, so calculated. Surely there is some combat application?" Linda shook her head, realizing the depth of the misunderstanding. "I suppose you could say that dance requires some of the same skills as combat, balance, timing, coordination, but it's not the same thing. Dance is an art form, not a method of fighting." The Cranian looked disappointed but didn't argue further. Instead, they turned back to the projector, their eyes fixed on the dancers as they continued to practice the moves with a renewed determination. As Linda walked away, she couldn't help but smile at the absurdity of the situation. But as the days passed, she began to see similar scenes unfolding all over the colony. The Martian streets were filled with aliens of every shape and size, all of them attempting to emulate Earth culture in their own unique ways. A group of Glorians, known for their ritualistic practices, had taken to performing Earth pop songs as part of their religious ceremonies, their deep, guttural voices chanting lyrics that were never meant to be uttered in such a solemn tone. Meanwhile, a family of Stylians, with their rigid social structure, had begun reenacting scenes from a popular Earth sitcom, their deadpan delivery and lack of emotional inflection turning what was supposed to be humorous banter into something almost eerie. Linda's initial amusement gave way to concern as she realized the scale of the phenomenon. The aliens weren't just dabbling in Earth culture, they were embracing it with a fervor that bordered on obsession. And with that obsession came a host of misunderstandings that, if left unchecked, could lead to unintended consequences. The situation reached a tipping point when the colony's governing council announced plans for a grand festival to celebrate Earth culture. The festival would feature performances by the colony's alien residents, showcasing their interpretations of Earth customs and traditions. Linda was invited to attend as the guest of honor, a role that filled her with equal parts pride and dread. As the festival approached, Linda found herself grappling with a difficult decision. On one hand, she didn't want to stifle the aliens' enthusiasm for Earth culture. Their fascination with human history and art was, in a way, a testament to the power of cultural exchange. But on the other hand, she worried that the festival could become a farce, a spectacle of misinterpretations that would only reinforce the aliens' misconceptions about Earth. In the end, Linda chose to let the festival proceed as planned. She reasoned that the event could serve as a valuable learning experience for both humans and aliens alike. After all, cultural exchange was not just about teaching others the right way to do things, it was also about understanding and appreciating the ways in which different cultures interpret and adapt what they encountered. On the day of the festival, the central square of the Martian colony was transformed into a vibrant celebration of Earth culture, albeit one filtered through the unique perspectives of its alien residents. Stalls lined the square, offering alien interpretations of Earth cuisine, from Martian pizza that glowed with bioluminescent algae to Glorian hamburgers made from a mysterious meat substitute that oozed a bright green sauce. A makeshift stage had been erected at the center of the square, where the day's performances would take place. Linda stood near the stage, watching as the first act prepared to go on. It was the Cranian warriors, who had spent the past weeks perfecting their combat dance routine. As the familiar beat of the 1980s dance music filled the air, the warriors took their positions, their faces set in expressions of intense concentration. What followed was a spectacle unlike anything Linda had ever seen. The Cranians moved in perfect unison, their limbs slicing through the air with a precision that was both impressive and comical. They executed spins, kicks, and leaps with the same seriousness that they would have applied to a real battle, their movements punctuated by the occasional awkward stumble as they struggled to balance on their spindly legs. The crowd erupted in applause as the warriors finished their routine, clearly impressed by the display of combat skills. Linda couldn't help but join in the applause, even as she shook her head in disbelief. It wasn't what she would have expected from a cultural festival, but then again, nothing about this situation had gone the way she had expected. As the day wore on, the festival continued to surprise and delight the crowd. The Glorian pop music ritual was met with equal parts confusion and admiration, as the deep, resonant voices of the Glorians transformed the upbeat pop lyrics into something almost sacred. The Stylian family's sitcom reenactment, while devoid of the emotional nuances that made the original show popular on Earth, was still met with laughter and applause from the audience, who seemed to appreciate the effort, if not the execution. By the time the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the Martian landscape in shades of deep red and purple, Linda realized that the festival had been a success, just not in the way she had anticipated. The event had brought the human and alien residents of the colony closer together, not through a perfect understanding of each other's cultures, but through the shared experience of trying, and sometimes failing, to connect. In the weeks that followed, the effects of the festival could be felt throughout the colony. The Earth culture craze continued, but it began to evolve in new and unexpected ways. The Cranian warriors, inspired by their experience, started incorporating elements of dance into their regular combat drills, not as a replacement for their traditional techniques, but as a way to improve their agility and coordination. The Glorians, intrigued by the idea of combining music with ritual, began composing their own songs, blending earth pop with their native chants to create something entirely new. Even the Stylians, who had once struggled to understand human humor, started experimenting with different forms of entertainment, developing a unique style of comedy that blended their own stoic sensibilities with the absurdity they had witnessed on Earth television. For Linda, the experience was both humbling and enlightening. She had come to Mars with the intention of studying the impact of Earth culture on alien societies, but in the end, it was the aliens who had taught her something valuable, that cultural exchange was not a one-way street. It was a process of mutual adaptation, where both sides could learn from each other, even if the results were sometimes unexpected. With this newfound understanding, Linda began working on a new project, a cultural exchange program that would help the aliens gain a more accurate understanding of Earth culture, while also encouraging humans to learn from the unique perspectives of their alien neighbors. The program would include everything from language lessons to joint artistic endeavors, all aimed at fostering a deeper connection between the different species that called Mars home. As she watched the first group of participants gather for the inaugural class of the program, Linda couldn't help but feel a sense of optimism for the future. The Earth culture craze had been a strange and sometimes bewildering chapter in the history of the Martian colony, but it had also laid the groundwork for something much more profound, a new era of cultural collaboration that would benefit everyone involved. The story of the craze would go down in history, not as a simple curiosity or a footnote in the annals of Mars, but as the beginning of a new cultural era, where the line between human and alien culture became blurred, and something new and beautiful emerged in its place. The crowd's cheers echoed through the square long after the festival had officially ended. Linda lingered near the stage, watching as groups of aliens mingled with humans, their laughter and conversation filling the air. The event had exceeded her expectations in every way, and as the energy of the day slowly dissipated, she found herself reflecting on the journey that had brought her to this moment. The alien fascination with Earth culture had been a wild, unpredictable ride, but it had also been a powerful reminder of the inherent curiosity that connected all intelligent beings, regardless of their origins. She had seen it in the wide-eyed enthusiasm of the Cranians as they practiced their dance combat routines, in the solemn dedication of the Glorians as they transformed pop lyrics into something almost reverent, and in the quiet determination of the Stylians as they navigated the strange terrain of human humor. Each species had taken something from Earth culture and made it their own, adding a new layer to the already rich tapestry of life on Mars. As the last of the festival-goers drifted away, Linda made her way back to her office, her mind buzzing with ideas for the cultural exchange program. The program was her chance to build on the success of the festival, to create something lasting that would help bridge the gap between species and foster a deeper understanding of each other's cultures. She knew it wouldn't be easy, there were bound to be challenges and misunderstandings along the way, but she also knew that the potential rewards were worth the effort. By the time she reached her office, the Martian night had fully descended, casting the colony in a soft, reddish glow. Linda settled into her chair and activated her terminal, pulling up the preliminary plans for the program. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard as she considered how to begin. The first step, she decided, would be to recruit participants from a wide range of species, ensuring that the program was as inclusive as possible. She would need representatives from each of the major alien communities on Mars, as well as a few humans who could offer insights into Earth culture. Together, they would work to develop a curriculum that balanced the need for accuracy with the recognition that cultural adaptation was a natural part of the exchange process. Linda began drafting a message to the colony's council, outlining her proposal and requesting their support. As she typed, her thoughts drifted back to the festival and the way it had brought everyone together in a way she hadn't anticipated. The event had been a celebration of Earth culture, yes, but it had also been a celebration of the colony itself, a testament to the resilience and adaptability of its inhabitants. She finished the message and sent it off, feeling a sense of accomplishment as the screen confirmed its delivery. Leaning back in her chair, Linda allowed herself a moment of quiet satisfaction. The festival had been just the beginning. Now, it was time to take the next step. In the days that followed, Linda threw herself into the work of organizing the cultural exchange program. She met with representatives from the Cranian, Glorian, and Stylian communities, as well as a handful of other alien species who had shown an interest in the project. Each meeting brought new insights and ideas, and as the program began to take shape, Linda felt a growing sense of excitement about what they were creating. The curriculum they developed was unlike anything she had ever seen. It combined elements of Earth history and culture with the unique perspectives of the alien participants, creating a blend that was both familiar and entirely new. There were classes on Earth art and literature, where students were encouraged to reinterpret classic works through the lens of their own cultures. There were workshops on music and dance, where participants could explore the similarities and differences between their own traditions and those of Earth. And there were discussions on philosophy and ethics, where the diverse viewpoints of the participants sparked lively debates and deepened everyone's understanding of the world around them. As the program got underway, Linda found herself increasingly drawn into the role of facilitator and mediator. There were moments of tension, of course. Misunderstandings and disagreements were inevitable in a project of this scale, but there were also moments of profound connection, when the barriers between species seemed to dissolve, and something truly special emerged. One such moment came during a workshop on dance, led by the Cranian warriors who had become something of a sensation after their performance at the festival. The workshop was attended by a mix of species, including a group of human colonists who had been curious to see how the Cranians had adapted Earth dance styles to their own martial traditions. The session began with a demonstration of the Cranian combat dance, which combined elements of traditional Cranian fighting techniques with the fluid, rhythmic movements of Earth dance. The humans watched in awe as the warriors moved in perfect sync, their bodies flowing from one position to the next with a grace that belied the lethal intent behind each motion. When it came time for the participants to try the moves themselves, Linda noticed a moment of hesitation among the humans. The Cranian style was so different from anything they were used to, and there was a palpable sense of uncertainty in the room. But as the workshop continued, something remarkable happened. The humans began to relax, allowing themselves to be guided by the rhythm of the music and the example of the Cranians. The initial awkwardness gave way to a kind of playful experimentation, as the participants found their own ways to blend the two styles. By the end of the session, the room was filled with laughter and applause, as humans and aliens alike celebrated their shared achievement. It was a small victory, perhaps, but it was also a powerful reminder of what the cultural exchange program was all about: breaking down barriers, finding common ground, and creating something new and beautiful in the process. As the weeks turned into months, the program continued to grow and evolve, attracting participants from across the colony. Each new class or workshop brought fresh challenges and opportunities, and Linda found herself constantly amazed by the creativity and resilience of the participants. There were moments of frustration, of course, times when the differences between species seemed too vast to bridge, or when a carefully planned lesson fell flat. But there were also moments of triumph, when a breakthrough was made, or a new connection was forged. One of the most memorable moments came during a discussion on ethics and morality, led by a Glorian philosopher named Vzash. The session was attended by a diverse group of participants, including a human theologian, a Stylian elder, and a young Cranian scholar who had shown a keen interest in Earth philosophy. The topic of the day was the concept of justice, and the discussion quickly became heated as the participants debated the various interpretations of the term. The Glorian perspective, shaped by their ritualistic culture, emphasized the importance of balance and harmony in the pursuit of justice. The Stylian elder, on the other hand, spoke of justice as a matter of honor and retribution, a way to restore order in the face of wrongdoing. The human theologian argued for a more compassionate approach, rooted in the principles of mercy and forgiveness. As the debate raged on, the Cranian scholar remained silent, listening intently to the others. Finally, the Cranian spoke up, offering a perspective that took everyone by surprise. They argued that justice was not a fixed concept, but a fluid one, something that could and should evolve as societies grew and changed. They pointed out that what was considered just in one culture might be seen as unjust in another, and that true justice required an understanding of the context in which it was applied. It was a perspective that resonated with the group, and as the discussion continued, the participants found themselves exploring new ways of thinking about justice and its role in their respective cultures. For Linda, it was a moment of profound satisfaction. The cultural exchange program had brought together individuals from vastly different backgrounds, and in doing so, had created a space where new ideas could be born. It was a reminder that the work they were doing was not just about preserving the past, but about shaping the future, a future where humans and aliens could learn from each other and grow together. As the program continued to thrive, Linda found herself looking to the future with a renewed sense of purpose. There were still many challenges ahead, but she was confident that they could be overcome. The festival had been just the beginning, and the cultural exchange program was proof that the spirit of collaboration and curiosity that had sparked the Earth culture craze was alive and well. In the end, it wasn't about who had the best dance moves or the most accurate interpretation of a sitcom. It was about the connections they had forged, the lessons they had learned, and the new traditions they had created together. Mars was no longer just a colony, it was a living, breathing community, where the lines between species and cultures were blurred, and something new and beautiful was born.